I've not been feeling the best, but I just wanted to get a reading in because I was doing some off-camera readings on Pam Bondi, and I keep getting that there's some kind of now I don't know if it's hers or if it's Trump's or what, but I was going to show you the cards I got, and it's about health. There's some kind of a health matter, um, and I think you know, she's going to, if it's hers, regardless of whose it is, they're going to have to uh, be hospitalized or something. They're going to have some long-term healing. So let me just show you. The four, I keep getting this card for her, the Four of Swords. And so paired up, she got the Three and the Four of Swords. Now, this is sometimes associated with affairs or betrayals, but many times it's also ailment. And could this be Trump's ailment? I'm not sure. Or is it hers? I'm not sure. But I felt like it was really, really close to her. So I'm wondering, it could be Trump's, but anyway, I keep getting this. This to me is, a card of suffering and not being well and needing to have recuperation and wanting to get your mind together after some deep hurt at the very least, if with the Three of Swords. Intellectually also, there's like mentally something that is hurtful, and here you're putting it into perspective, and you're just focusing on moving on and getting well. All right, then we have a lot of emotion coming out, a lot, and being very stressed out, um, panicked. Not just that, but just totally overwhelmed. And I'm going to say being a bit noisy and emotional, definitely. Um, Now, if it is about a relationship, it would be something that would be relatively new with the Ace of Cups. But I tend to go more on the side of probable health. But who knows? I mean, like, things like that can affect people that way too. So I'm just going to share the repeating odd cards I'm getting. And this Temperance card paired with the Nine of Wands, where we have someone that needs to mind boundaries and people standing up for their own boundaries. And that can be people standing up to her. Um, and there's too much of, I think, people getting hurt, abused because of what they're doing. You can see the bandage here. There's too much violence with the Nine of Fire wands. And Temperance is saying this has got to be worked on. This cannot continue this way. So it will require patience, but this energy, it's good to see it, comes in to mitigate an extreme form of violation and abuse. Yes, we're getting the Eight of Swords. And this is limited thinking, I think, on her part. She's going to feel stuck, maybe not know what to do. and her fears are going to blind her. Here she has the the oh, what do you call that? She's got the thing around the eyes she can't see. I'm sorry, my brain just went and took a dive. Um, you know, so she's not seeing clearly, and she's allowing emotionality with that Ace of Cups and fears that are subconscious and deep, usually deeply rooted, to have control of her way of thinking. In fact, that's what's in gear rather than any kind of real objectivity. So I find that interesting. There's a feeling of being trapped or stuck, but I don't know if she has the presence or will have the presence of mind to think, you know, clearly, honestly. Blindfold. That's what it was. Blindfold. Planning. It's like she's got goals, and it's like she's going to go through a dark night of the soul. But she's going to be in the spotlight. And she's in the midst of trying to, and in the midst of working toward a goal. And that gets put in the spotlight, what she's working on or been working on. She gets put in the spotlight, becomes really uncomfortable. There's not that power to be able to keep people, I would suppose, at bay anymore, because here I think she feels like she's not going to continue to get away with what she was doing. We have the step away card or the leaving card, and leaving more than one people leaving. So it could be like if something goes wrong with his health, at the end of the day, you will find, I think, a lot of these people not being able to continue to be in power because of dishonesty with the Seven of Swords, the theft, the lying for independent wealth, to become wealthy and to serve that 1% dishonestly, making everyone else suffer so that they get some kind of relief that they don't need. And she's going to feel depressed. I see that there is going to be loss, and she's going to need help with that Six of Pentacles, probably financially. Well, if she was so, whose money was she? Who was she getting this money for? I don't think that she's going to feel like she's going to be in a position um, for what's ahead of her financially, because she's looking for some kind of handout or help, uh, because she's scared and she's feeling depressed because she's had some kind of loss. And there's three people again highlighted, because I want to just say that, because see the three cups that are knocked over here? Well, these are the three people that are shown usually when you're working with somebody in a collaborative way. I'm sure it's probably some of his other morons in power in his regime, and they're going to lose things too. So that's very kind of telling that there's a loss of position, there's a loss of satisfaction. In fact, with that Ace of Cups and these three knocked over and being focused on what that loss, uh, and being more concerned about your own need for a GoFundMe. I don't know. It's really something. But looking for help, after a loss, okay? And there could be other people that are at a loss too. But I feel like people leaving because she has that people and the Three of Pentacles and the Eight of Cups together. And they're all these cards are all very close by each other, so it's kind of linking. We have the Hermit, investigation, quite possibly. Uh-huh. And I think that there's a couple things here. I think that she's, of course, going to be very defensive. But I think that this investigation could also get where they are getting the higher ground and overcoming her dissent. That's what I'm hopeful for. That the investigation isn't going to be a joke, you know. So let's just see what comes on the heels of that. We have the energy and the inspiration, and with direction and mindfulness, the appropriate papers or whatever, I think, to move forward in that three. So I think that there's going to be somebody coming after her, and I do think that the public are maybe going to be finally a bit happy for once at that point. She's got some kind of like she's trying to hide something and she's just not going to fully get away with it. I don't see that at all. That victory with that Three of Cups, I don't think it's for her. I really don't. Something is found, receipts, if you will, with the Page of Pentacles and people learning new data, new facts about, let's see if they raid her place or something, I don't know. Um, and it will be an investigation that I think will be expanded with these Two of Wands. There is taking, waiting for the timing and also beginning, getting it started and getting it started to have it expand as it needs to, from the looks of that. Knight of Cups, this is offering, these can be bribes and things like that, or someone that, usually comes up with an approach. But here we have like a crossroads, maybe where it's not, I don't know, maybe somebody didn't take the bribe, maybe there's something connected with her with that. Um, we have, Holman taking bribes with this. I'm not sure. There's an offer and there's a decision, a crossroads, a stalemate. So she might be offered something, maybe to turn on Trump or to talk on Trump or to give evidence or something, actually. And she may not choose to do that. The Page of Wands and the Sun. But it doesn't look like it's going to matter because she is going to get exposed like big time. Big time. And I feel like this is the electronic uh, headline, so to speak, with that Page of Wands and that energy's like, whoa, and it's really clear. And the need for moderation. Also, the negative side of this is when you're forcing people uh, and not reasoning with people or just being a decent human with people. Instead, you're being a bully. So there's some hidden things here as well, some secrets about this bullying that's going to come out. And I think her pushing her power around, trying to force people to shut up. So her abuse of her own power, once Trump or herself, whoever it is, has this health problem. But the more I see it, I think it's Trump. Um, from the other readings I've had and the health issue coming up and it affecting not just her, but a number of people, I think it could be his issue when it comes up. I think we're approaching getting a little closer to it. I still tend to think we need to watch for the time that I had of the winter solstice of this year. Um, there could be maybe another health emergency that will be really significant. That came up several times, and so I noted that, and the numbers kept repeating, and it was weird. All right, we have the home and working on family. Hmm. So she might be back in with family. I don't know, but working for her family. What is this? There's definitely working hard at maybe the Trump family. I don't know. And bullying people. That's just going to be, I think, a lot more that comes out of how really perhaps she was devoted to banging out these tasks, these executive orders and whatnot, willy nilly. We have the Eight of Wands, so there's a quickening coming. Ooh, and this is just where you don't think and you just act. So something happening very suddenly. And I would also say it would be something that would probably go viral. With the Eight of Wands, a quickening, a speeding up of something, and it's a sudden event. And I'm going to say that it is reactive, it is impulsive with that Knight of Swords, and not in a good way. Oh my goodness. It's the Tower. Look at that. Something very sudden comes. It could still be another further health issue because we got the health issues at the beginning. And there is having, I think the whole world is watching. This is expanded news. I think it's a Trump's health. And yeah, there's this desire to try to control and spread misinformation and to keep power, but she's dreaming. She's delusional. The Six of Wands and the King of Pentacles. Some man is going to be successful, and there is fighting or conflict. And there is clarity. Now, I don't know. Is that? No. BB is a Libra. King of Pentacles. Hmm. Could be somebody that's going for him and calling things out clearly or putting an end to a fight or an end to maybe an end to aiding a fight. Maybe it's an end to aiding Israel if something happens to Trump. It's just the only thing, I'm trying to make sense here. This could be JD Vance. We have the King of Wands and somebody that's like pooping their pants, worried. That makes sense. Can't find a couch. I don't know. All of those people would be really worried because they have acted way out of pocket. And there is a delay, or there's been a delay perhaps in moving forward. There's also, I think, been the delay of people realizing that this is a toxic bunch of people that are in government and they're actually hurting us. So maybe they're going to get a different, more, maybe just enough, you know, where it's going to matter. There's a different perspective and moving forward, being very determined to overcome boundaries, or not boundaries, I'm sorry, challenges. People have woken up because they're not going to be doing well. I think there's financial, I always get that there is going to be like a financial kind of a collapse. And I don't want to like make you all worried and spread doom and gloom. But yeah, they're gonna screw around that. So just you can already see it happening, how the prices are. There's, you know, I don't know, just be careful. So they're pretending like everything's fine. Everything's fine. People live so well here. No, the standard of living has dropped. And it's not the fault of the immigrants. It's not anyone else other than the, you know, person that you eh, have in office. So this is, and I always saw that the American standard, and it's been dropping for a while, but not like this. It's going to really drop, and they're going to want to, everything's fine while everything's in flames. Looking at agreements, I think of support, yeah, stuff that he was supporting, and money also in connection to Pam. Yes, investigating also into Trump, of course, because they're connected. And the data, the spying that they've done on people. And Trump has wanted data from that judge whose house I am sure enough in my own that he definitely is behind it. That's what he does. He thinks it's funny. So don't come in my comments ever again and say, you shouldn't when you don't know who it. Oh, we know who it is. She's been getting the threats. That judge was getting the threats, and then boom, her house blows up. Don't come in here in my channel with that shit. We have the Four of Cups. I think she's going to be like disassociative. There's kind of the shock of things that, woo, suddenly you're not in power anymore. Yeah. And there's suffering that she's going to have to one day release. She's caused a lot of people suffering. There's morality here. And I think our nation goes more toward healing. Just the like treat others how you want to be treated. It's not hard. People moving away from this bumpy time into the calmer water. That's what that Six of Swords is. And it's really, I don't think for her. I think she's got to deal with rules and things like that. So I think she will be under investigation and our nation will move forward and things will be better for us, but not for her because she's going to be very thoroughly investigated. She's been a fool, taken too big of risks, doesn't know what she's doing, does not have the experience. That's pointed out time and time again. But that's with all of the Trump admin. And this is over. Look at that, an ending and the beginning. This is the first card, and this is the last card. The start of the journey and the end of the journey. This is going to end her. and she's going to look a fool. And this is being held to account, having to correct, and see things, have things pointed out as well that you didn't do that weren't cool. This is, no, 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 you're not quite getting away with that. You need to become aware. You need to wake up. You need a wake up call, even if you don't want it. And it's who you associate with, who you're close to, and whose will you serve. And it could also be, I don't know, how she is in relationships. We have the Queen of Wands, real quick. Queen of Cups. Now she's a Queen of Cups. So there's her and another woman. There could be some sort of arguing or some kind of tension starting with the Ace of Wands, probably if she's being questioned and stuff. And I see a Queen of Swords, and I feel like that's more of a maybe a female judge. Oh my God, just as I said that, that's what she comes with. Justice. She's going to come before something legal. All that money, her quote unquote legacy, is over. The death card. There's only the past as a memory. And I don't know if this is with if she looks at Trump as like a father figure or something, but this could be Trump or her actual father. I'm not sure, but it's also authority. A father, a man that's been married, has children, and it is also authority leadership. And that could be him finally passing after being ill and having unexpected, really significant health final attack. Kind of that was just going to make his health, it looks like, not recover. I don't know how else to put that. All right. Her manipulation of things, rules, law, all those receipts of her manipulation, I feel like they're going to be able to find proof of. So she's just not going to be, yeah, juggling things. She's probably going to be trying to get rid of some things here, move money or something, but she's too childish. This is also her. I don't think she's terribly, maybe she was too sheltered. I don't know. She's not very street smart or something. Just as I say that, there's the corruption card of the devil. You know, she agreed to the devil and to the greed and to the power so that she could have that to abuse other people. Well, there's a price for it. And I feel like this is probably one of the other folks in her, that she works with. She is serving people that are corrupt, and she herself is corrupt. Queen of Pentacles. I think these we're looking at a courtroom and her being deposed and in the future, and bullying, her cruelty comes to light, especially toward other women, and where there's abundance, becomes feral. She becomes feral. Yeah, she has got something that's going to wipe that egotistical, smug smile off her face with the Wheel of Fortune. It's karmic. As she has sown, so shall she reap. So watch that space. If you appreciate readings like this, please do give me a thumbs up. Hey, I read even though I'm a little sick. Don't worry, I'll get better. Anyways, take care.